Hi everyone, Frank Lee here from the C.A.S.P.I.R Paranormal team. Just wanted to talk with you today about something that I particularly enjoy, one of my favorites, which is audio. A couple of big mistakes that I see people make regarding audio in the paranormal is first and foremost with file format. If you look on your computer, you'll notice there are mostly two types of file formats. There is WAV, W-A-V, or there are MP3 file formats. And both of those, while the same type of software will play either type, most of them can be used in the same programs and interchangeable in a lot of ways. They are very, very different. WAV format is a lossless, uncompressed, raw sound quality. It's exactly what was recorded by the recorder. There is no compression to it. No frequencies have been cut. It is as good as that recorder could do. MP3, however, was invented because WAV files can be large, especially longer files or larger recordings. MP3s were invented as a file format to save space on hard drives. Those became especially popular when people started uploading music to their computers. And why does this matter? When we go on an investigation, we want the audio that we record to be lossless. We don't want any of our audio cut out. We don't want it compressed. We want whatever we recorded to be what we hear. How many times have you been on an investigation, you hear something, you hear a disembodied voice. Not only do you hear it, but everyone in your group hears it. But and you're so excited to go back and review your audio, but when you review it, it's not there. Why is that? It may very well be that you're recording to MP3. And it may very well be that the very file or the very sound that you wanted was one of the unnecessary frequencies that were cut out in the compression that MP3 formatting uses. That's why it's very important to try to avoid it. Now, can you catch EVPs and things with using MP3 format? Absolutely. But chances are you're missing many more than you're recording. And that brings me to one other thing. There's a major difference in a voice recorder, which is very, very popular for the paranormal, and an audio recorder. Wait, what? Seems like it should be the same thing, right? Wrong. A voice recorder is a simple tool for recording human voice or dictation. It's for taking voice notes. It uses that they're usually much less expensive than an audio recorder. And the reason being, our hearing ranges from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. That's a wide range. Typical human voice only covers, at best, half of that. So if I'm going to give you a voice recorder, I can give you a great voice recorder, but I only need hardware that's set up to cover half of the range of human hearing versus giving you an audio recorder that covers all of it. So chances are, if you're using a voice recorder, your recorder may not even be capable of picking up a lot of the EVPs or sounds that you would otherwise record at these locations. Price difference doesn't have to be very much. You can spend as much on an audio recorder as you want to. But simple fact is you can get them for typically $20 to $30 more, sometimes even less than that, of what you would spend on a decent quality voice recorder. For instance, one of my favorites, this is a Tascam DR05. Very simple to operate. It's fairly lightweight, a lot of features. This model, I didn't get this on the Paranormal website. I got this from Guitar Center. I caught it on sale for $79. I think the going price is usually around $99. But you can find them in that price range. Tascam makes several others in this particular line that are well under $150 that have more features, different microphone configurations. What's the difference in this and a voice recorder? This will pick up the entire human hearing range. So if something comes through, I don't have to worry, am I missing it? Another major feature, and one of my favorites, is here on the side, this headphone jack here. I do what is called live listening on most of my investigations. And what that does is it allows me to use my headphones. Now, here again, don't go out, especially if you're going to take them on investigations, don't buy a $100 pair of headphones or anything like that that's going to get lost, get broken, or anything like that. These, I don't think these came from Walmart. I think I picked these up from like a Burke's outlet store, somewhere like that, for $10-12. And about $12-15 is the most I'll spend on a pair of headphones that I'll take on an investigation. I use these often. Another pair, Walmart, $12, and these work great. But if I plug my headphones, and I'm getting feedback here, let me turn my input down. That was from the last setting I had. But now, everything that comes through these headphones, I'm hearing what this is recording as it records it. So if I'm on an investigation, say I'm doing an EVP session, and I ask a question, if I get a response, now through these, I hear it at the exact time that this picks it up. Now, it doesn't work 100% of the time. There will still be things that you miss simply because we're human, we are distracted. There will be things every single time you do a live session, you still need to go back and review it, because I don't care who you are, how focused you are. You're going to hear things that you didn't hear while you were live listening, but it helps a lot. So that's just something to keep in mind. Another feature is when you get into this type of recorder, maybe you have a different microphone you want to try. Maybe you want to use a parabolic mic, or maybe you have some type of experiment you're wanting to run. Right on the front of this, you can see there is an input that you can set up your own microphone. Now keep in mind, this is a cheap one, $79. But it does so much, and I don't have to worry. It records to WAV files. It picks up the full audio spectrum, and I know that if I hear it, it's being recorded. That's well worth the extra $20, $30 over a voice recorder. Something else I want to talk about is software. There are so many programs out there. There are just as many audio programs out there as there are audio recorders. How do you pick the right one? That can be so difficult. A program I want to show you today is super easy. It's simple. It doesn't have a lot of gadgets on it to distract you. A lot of features that you won't need. It's called Acoustica Basic Edition. One of the best features of Acoustica Basic Edition is you can go through, you can mark all of your EVPs as you're listening. When you finish listening to your entire audio track that you've recorded, then all you have to do is click one little button, and all of a sudden all of your EVPs are saved as individual files. It is so easy. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So, and please bear with me on my desktop here because I'm still on the road and it's a mess. But don't they say that keeping a messy desktop's a sign of genius? Well, maybe that applies to computer desktops too. I don't know. I hope so. So check this out. Okay, so the first thing that I need to do, if I'm going to show you this new software, is going to be showing you where to get it. So let's do that. And please ignore my messy desktop here. We're going to go to acondigital.com, A-C-O-N digital.com, and hit enter. Okay, and you can see it's going to pull up this site. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to downloads. And they have several different programs, lots of them here on the site that you can download. What we are looking for is here at the top. Acoustica 6. And the one that we want, there are several different versions of this software. And pay close attention here. You can download the user guide for the Acoustica Basic Edition in PDF format. If you're not familiar with software, I would definitely recommend doing that. It can save you a lot of time and headache by reading the instructions. There are 3 different versions of this. Some have more features than the others. You can see Basic Edition, Standard Edition, and Premium Edition. All we need is the Basic Edition for what we are going to be doing. And we're going to save it to the desktop. And it's small file, you can see only about 5 megabytes. And there, it's downloaded. So we can close this out. Here it is on our desktop. We'll double click it. And now we're going to hit yes. We're going to accept the agreement. And this is a really small program. I'm going to let it create a desktop icon. That's optional. And we're going to install it. And we're finished. And now, on this particular screen, it's asking if you want to associate Acoustica Basic Edition with your MP3 files. Personally, I would recommend setting this to leave system settings unchanged. And don't show this warning again. Okay, and we're done. So, what we want to do is we want to open, well, I take that back. Let's back up. Now we have our program here. So what do? First and foremost, let's back up one step. You've got your recording and it's saved from your computer or from your device to your computer. I put mine in this folder here called Investigation. I'm going to open it up, and like many, you can see it's got this strange name that may be hard to make sense of, like perhaps with mine, it gives the model number of my recorder and the serial number. So what I'm personally going to do is I'm going to rename this to Test Investigation, and I'm going to do 4/14/2017. And I made this test audio outside. So to have my location marked, I'm going to put yard. And if you will notice, it is in WAV format. And now this tells me today's date, the investigation, and the location within the investigation, all in my file name. That will come in handy later, and I'll show you why. So let's pull our program back up. And I'm going to walk you through. I'm closing it out. And this installer, we can actually delete that since we're done with it. Then this Acoustica Basic Edition, we're going to open it up. The screen pops up. What do we want to do? Well, of course, we want to open an existing file. So we will go to, I saved that folder on my desktop. And let's see if I can find my folder here. That's always the fun part. There it is, Test Investigation. And I'm loading it up. All right. Now, I've got the audio pulled up here. And what I'm seeing is a visual representation of my audio file. I'm seeing these peaks are the louder spots in the audio, and of course the lower areas are the lower parts in the audio. So what good is audio if you don't listen to it? None. So let's listen. Now you can zoom in. There's different options. Great thing about this program is this interface is customizable. Some people like it set up different ways. You can drag anything and you can set it however you want to. Like if I want to move this on top of my file browser, I can drag it there. Or if I want to put it beside it, I can drag it here. If I want to put this level meter down here, I can do it like that. I mean, there's so many options. I'm going to put this back up here. So I'm going to put it there. And I can drag, oops, if I grab the right one, I can drag this, put it out. I can move this up or down, however I want to set it up. And pay attention to the tabs here at the bottom. You got a file browser, label list, and a region list. That will come in handy later. So you can also zoom in. You can highlight things, right click. I mean, all of that is pretty easy. You've got vertical zoom, of course, which is your height. We're at 100. You can click 200 if you want to see more detail. Go back to 100. This just tells you your volume. You've got this zoom tool. You can click it, let you zoom in or out. Then your selection mode is going to be your most popular one. Your view menu comes in handy. You have several different analyzers you can pop up here, your toolbars. All of this is completely customizable. You can even change your time format. You can zoom in, zoom out. And if you notice, there is Shift plus O and Shift plus I. So I can zoom in or out by using my mouse or by using these hotkey commands. So without using my mouse, or by not using my mouse, I can hit Shift and O for out, and I can hit it as many times as I want to and zoom out. Now I have the entire file. Or if I want to zoom in, Shift plus I for in and zoom in. Super easy. So let's start at the beginning by putting my cursor there and hit play. Test recording. Today's date. Current time. In the yard. Just a heads up, I always recommend at the very beginning of all of your audio files, always give the date, the time, where you are. That will always come in handy later when you're reviewing. Okay, so you just heard It's Only Me in the Yard, and you just heard those footsteps, right? So that's strange. So let's mark that. And you can see the waveform. As a matter of fact, I'll hit Shift I to zoom in on that. And now you can see that, and we'll replay that little selection. Okay, so that's odd. I want to mark that. So I highlighted it. And now I'm going to select Add a Region Marker. And you notice that down here it appears on the region list. If you don't see this, look at the tabs here and make sure you're seeing region list. I can click it one time on the name and it's highlighted, and I can actually label it if I want to. Let's see, we will call that footsteps. hit enter, and it's saved. Okay, so now I'm going to click my cursor to take it off that selection, and let's keep listening. I'm a ghost talking to you. Wait, we just got an EVP. With a rather charming voice, I must add. Looking at my waveform, it looks like it came through right here. Let's highlight that, listen again. I'm a ghost talking to you. Okay, so that is it. So since that one's nice and Class A and has a charming southern accent, he must be from Alabama also, we will add a region marker. I'm going to click the name here. And I'm going to label it I'm a ghost. Now you notice I didn't put the apostrophe in I'm. Reason is certain characters like apostrophes, slashes, things like that don't work well in file names. You can use dashes or underscores. Hit enter to save the name. Now we have that EVP saved. Let's keep listening. Boo. Okay, that was odd. We got a bang and another EVP. So let's highlight that. Looks like it's going to be here. Play it back to double check. Boo. I want to get just a little more time before the bang, so I'm going to drag my selection back this way a little. Boo. I want to drag it past that a little bit too. Boo. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to add a region marker. I'm going to click the name. And I'm going to change it to bang and then boo. That way I know what it is. Okay, I'm going to click on the timeline here to take off my selection and hit play. Get out. Oh, there's a favorite. We better mark that one. Get out. Okay, so let's add a region marker. And let's name it Get Out. Now let's listen some more. That was a ghostly text message, so I'm not going to mark it. Boo. We got another boo. So let's highlight it. Boo. I'm going to add a little more time afterward. Boo. There we go. And now let's add a region marker. Type her name. Boo. Okay, and now let's That's got it. Click the screen to take off our selection. Keep listening. Okay, that's odd. We got some footsteps there. Let's scroll over to where those were. And looking at the waveforms, this looks like this should include all of them, but let's double check. Okay, so let's add a region marker, and I'm going to label it Footsteps 2. This concludes the recording of The Sounds of Nature by Frank Lee in this test. So there we go. There, and I always recommend marking the end of the audio, and at the end of it, notate anything that you experienced while you were recording or anything that you need to mark. Okay, now comes the fun part. I'm going to hit Shift and O to zoom out so that I can show something to you. Now, if you look, I've got the entire file zoomed across there. So you can see the whole timeline. You know, it's just over 3 minutes. And as you can see, all of our EVPs, for all practical purposes here, are highlighted and marked. So what we want to do now is, of course, if I were going to review this, or if I were going to show this to a client, or just whatever, I would want to show them the entire file, especially if this is only 3 minutes. Think of how many times you record for 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. So you want to clip these down individually, correct? So the way to do that, click. You're going to come over here to File and Save Regions to Files. Okay, and as you can see, this gives you a few options here. You remember my sound file was in a folder on my desktop called Investigation. And if you look at my target directory, it's going to save these individually in the same folder as the main file. It's going to save them. The name prefix is going to be, you remember I changed the name of the file at the beginning from the model number and everything that came default from the recorder to Test Investigation 414 2007 -yard. Okay, as you can see, that's going to be the name prefix, and it's saving it to WAV format. So I'm making sure those settings are correct, and I'm clicking OK, and watch this. Done. The wonderful thing about this program, you just watched me in real time as I'm listening to this, reviewing it. I made 2 clicks. And now when I go to my investigation folder, where my audio was before I reviewed it, and open it, now all of these files are saved individually as EVPs. And when you click on them, here is the original file in its entirety, and these are the individual clips. Then here is my footsteps too.
Get out.
And of course, my favorite, my Alabama accented ghost.
I'm a ghost talking to you.
So there you have it. It's super easy to review and clip audio. Another effect of this program, if you do get a file that you need to adjust the volume of, you can do that with this program by going, you have to double click so that the entire file turns blue, and you have volume where you can adjust the volume. Click that, and you can reduce it or increase it. You've got a slider here. There's ways to do that. And you have a couple of other settings, but the main one to pay attention to is just going to be your volume adjustment. And that's everything. When you finish, if you save the file, as I just did, let's close it out. Okay, now, let's see, I'm going to, oh well, it hasn't popped up the context menu yet. Let me open Acoustica. This is really neat. You saw me just close the file. So I'm going to open an existing file again. And I'm going to open the file that I just closed out, which is the entire audio. And if you'll notice, all of my EVPs are saved, all of those markers that we just did. So that comes in handy too. So I just wanted to point this program out to you. I hope it comes in handy for you. If there's any thing that you would like to see me cover in the future, let me know. So have a great one.